Hi children! So let's start learning grammar. Yes, as you can see on the screen, today's lesson is all about nouns, a wonderful part of speech because most sentences in English contain at least one noun or a pronoun. But we will get to pronouns later. A noun is basically anything which has a name, and that is why nouns are also called naming words. So let's start this video and learn about nouns. In this video, we will have a quick introduction to the 8 parts of speech. Then we will pick up the definition of a noun followed by kinds of nouns, and we will also discuss some rules for using nouns correctly. I will show you how to avoid common errors that students make with nouns. So first of all, let's do a quick recap of parts of speech. So first of all, let's understand what are these 8 parts of speech. All the words used in a sentence have been named according to their job or role in a sentence. We can think of parts of speech like job titles, just like a person can be the principal, a teacher, a peon, a student, etc. in a particular institution. Similarly, a word can be a noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection depending on its role in a sentence. If you have command or good knowledge of these parts of speech, you can avoid errors in your writing skills. In my previous videos, I have already explained the role of these parts of speech briefly. And in this video, we will only focus on nouns. So let's understand what is a noun. What is a noun? I'm sure you know the answer to it. Noun is just a name of a person, place, animal, thing, feeling, and idea. Anything which has a name plays the role of a noun in a sentence. Let's understand this with the help of an example. India is the second most populous country in the world. In this sentence, we have 3 nouns: India, country, and world. India is the name of a place. Any nation with its own government is called country, and the earth together with all of its countries and people is called world. And that is why these 3 words are playing the role of a noun in this sentence. Let's take one more example. He is a highly decorated officer of unquestionable integrity and patriotism. Can you identify nouns in this sentence? Let me help you. Here, officer, integrity, and patriotism are playing the role of a noun. Name of a person holding a position of authority is called officer, and integrity is the name of a quality of being honest, and similarly patriotism is the name of a quality of being devoted to one's country. And this is how all the naming words play the role of a noun in a sentence. Now let's talk about types of nouns. Nouns form a large proportion of English vocabulary, and they come in a wide variety of types. Basically speaking, nouns can be divided into 5 main categories, and that include proper noun, common noun, collective noun, material noun, and abstract nouns. But in this video, we will cover up each and every aspect of nouns so that we can use them correctly in our sentences. Here, we will discuss the difference between concrete and abstract nouns. We will talk about the difference between common and proper noun. Then we will talk about collective nouns, material nouns, compound nouns, and we will also discuss what are countable nouns and what are uncountable nouns and how we can differentiate countable and uncountable nouns. So first of all, let's understand what are concrete and abstract nouns. We can divide our nouns into concrete and abstract depending upon their existence. Yes, the nouns which have real or physical existence are considered concrete, and the nouns which do not have real or physical existence are considered abstract nouns. Let's understand them with examples. Book, t-shirt, car, school, house are the examples of concrete nouns because they have real or physical existence. We can touch them and see them, and that's why they are concrete. Whereas abstract nouns include the name of a quality, a relationship, an idea, or a feeling. Example: honesty, friendship, bravery, and happiness. We cannot touch them, we cannot see them, we cannot taste them or hear them, but we can only feel them. And such words are considered abstract nouns. I hope now you have understood the difference between concrete and abstract. Now let's talk about common and proper noun. Do you know what common and proper nouns are? A common noun is a general noun, and a proper noun is the name given to a specific person, place, animal, or thing. For example, on the left, all the nouns are common nouns, and the nouns on the right are proper nouns. For example, woman is a common noun because it can be any woman. But when we say Meera, it is the name of one specific person or one individual. So Meera is a proper noun. In next two, we have city and country. They are common nouns. But the words like Chandigarh and India, they are the names of specific city and one specific country. So they are proper nouns. Here you need to notice one thing, that I have written all these proper nouns beginning with a capital letter, and that's the rule in English. Proper nouns are always written with a capital first letter. Similarly, when we talk about school in general, we use it as a common noun. So the whole word school is written in smaller case, that is in small letters. But when we are talking about a specific school like Guru Nanak Public School, all the words Guru, Nanak, Public and School are beginning with a capital letter. That's because it's a proper noun that talks about one specific school. With the days of the week, like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday, we always write them with the first letter capitalized because they are proper nouns. And the same thing goes with months as well. We use first letter capital to write the name of the month, like January beginning with the first letter capital. So always remember this rule, that proper nouns are always written with first letter capital. Let's now turn to the next category of nouns, that is collective nouns. Collective means something like collection, and a collective noun is the name given to group of people, place, animal or thing. They are very interesting. Let's look at some common examples. A group of players is called a team. So team is a collective noun. What do we call a group of employees? That word is staff. In the same way, I have some more examples of interesting collective nouns on screen. A group of students is called class. A group of criminals is called gang. There are also collective nouns for animals. For example, a group of wolves is called pack. And hilarious but totally real name for group of pandas is an embarrassment. There are also collective nouns for things. 6 to 10 keys, together known as bunch. And when you need to talk about stairs from one floor to another floor, it's called flight of stairs. Collective nouns can be difficult because there are so many collective nouns and it's really difficult to remember all of them. So what you can do? There are two things which you can do. First, you can learn the most common collective nouns. The examples that I just showed you are some very common collective nouns. So if you learn the most common collective nouns, you can use them fluently in your conversation, but sometimes you might be in a situation where you want to use a collective noun but you don't know it or you cannot recollect it. Like you want to say a gang of criminals, but you cannot remember the word gang. So what you can do? You can simply use the word group. Yes, a group of criminals, and your meaning will be clear. Similarly, you can use the word bunch. Bunch is a common collective noun. Example, bunch of bananas, bunch of people, bunch of grapes, bunch of monkeys. Bunch means cluster or group, and this trick can save you there. You can also use quantity expressions like a lot of, some, etc. If you use them, your meaning will be clear. But one reason to learn collective nouns is that if we will be using correct collective noun in a situation, it will make our speech sound impressive and stylish. So try to learn as many as you can. Now, let's move on and talk about material nouns. Material nouns are names of materials or substances out of which things are made. So, words like gold, wood, iron, diamond, plastic, milk, water, these are all considered material nouns. Material nouns are uncountable. We cannot count them and they are found in concrete form. Unlike abstract nouns, we can see, hear, taste, touch and smell these nouns because they are in the form of liquid, semi-liquid or solid. Material nouns are names given to the raw elements or objects which exist in nature or created by humans using raw material. So, the primary source of raw materials is nature, animal and plants. And on the basis of this, we can divide our material nouns into different categories. Material nouns from animals, material nouns from plants, material nouns from nature and man-made material nouns. And here is the list of all the material nouns. The material nouns which we get from animals include honey, egg, meat, silk, leather, wool, etc. And material nouns which we get from plants, they include coffee, tea, cotton, oil, wood, paper and many more things. Then we have a list of material nouns which we get from nature, that is air, water, gold, silver, iron, copper, salt, etc. Then there are man-made material nouns like acid, alcohol, butter, chalk, ghee, cheese and so on. So they are easy to identify in a sentence. You can easily pick up material noun from the sentence. Now, let's move on and talk about compound nouns. Compound nouns. Now, compound noun is a noun that is made with two or more words. Each word makes up part of the meaning of the noun. It is very important to understand and recognize compound nouns. Each compound noun acts as a single unit and can be modified by adjectives and other nouns. Compound nouns can be written three ways. A single word like haircut, toothbrush, etc. Then two words compound noun, rainforest, ice cream, water bottle. And third way is by using a hyphen, self-esteem, brother-in-law. And this is how we can write compound nouns in three different ways. Now, let's talk about the rules of using compound nouns in sentences. When compound noun is a single word, like toothbrush, we make its plural by adding s or es. One toothbrush, two toothbrushes. But if the compound noun is hyphenated or composed of two separate words, remember to add s only to the word that is plural. Yes, this is very important rule and most of the children make error here. We say one mother-in-law, two mothers-in-law. There are two mothers, not two laws. Similarly, one director general. We say two directors general because there are two directors but not two generals. Similarly, we say water bottles. We will add s with bottles because there can be two bottles but not two water. I hope now you have understood compound nouns and its correct uses in a sentence. Now, let's move on to the next category of nouns, that is countable and uncountable nouns. Countable and uncountable nouns. As the name suggests, the nouns which we can count are called countable nouns, and the nouns which we cannot count comes under the category uncountable nouns. For example, woman, pencil, eraser, house, apple, dog are the examples of countable nouns. Now let's talk about the rules of using countable and uncountable nouns. With countable nouns, we can use numbers or we can make their plurals. Like we can say, I have two pencils. So I am using the number 2 with the plural of pencil, that is pencils. It means we can easily use numbers and we can make their plurals by adding s or es. Similarly, we can say two women, two erasers, three houses, four apples, five dogs, etc. And if we are talking about singular countable nouns, that is, if I am talking about one pencil or one woman or one eraser, then I need to know that I will be using the article a or an. For example, I would say, I have a pencil. There is a dog. It's a house. Here, you need to remember this rule that we use articles a or an with singular countable nouns, and we can make the plurals of these countable nouns just by adding s or es. Now let's talk about uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns are those nouns which we cannot count, like water, coffee, air, salt, sugar, love, advice, and so on. We cannot count air. We cannot count water because air is a gas. Milk, water, and oil are liquid. And if we talk about salt and sugar, We cannot count the small particles or the crystals of sugar. And emotion and advice are abstract nouns. They are feelings, they are ideas. We cannot count them, and that is why they are considered uncountable nouns. That is why with uncountable nouns, we cannot use articles a or an, and we cannot make their plurals as well. We never say waters, airs, oils. We say oil floats on water. But we can use the quantity to talk about these uncountable nouns. For example, we can say 2 glass of milk, 1 tablespoon of sugar, a cup of coffee. We can use units of volumes and weight like kilogram, ounces, liters to talk about uncountable nouns. Another thing which we need to know about countable and uncountable noun is that we use the expression how many with countable nouns to ask question, and the expression how much for uncountable nouns. For example, we will say how many pens do you have? We cannot say how much pens do you have. Similarly, we will use the expression how much. How much milk is there in the jug? Another thing is that when we know the number, we use 1, 2, 3, etc. But when we are not sure of the number or the quantity, then we use the expressions like a few, a little. We use a few for countable nouns and a little for uncountable nouns. If we are talking about small quantity, for example, I can say I have a few apples. I have a little water in my bottle. This is very important. If we talk about big number or big quantity, then we use the expression many or a lot of with countable nouns, and with uncountable nouns we will use much or a lot of with uncountable nouns. You should notice here that a lot of can be used with both countable and uncountable nouns. I have many pencils. I have much water. I have a lot of pencils. I have a lot of coffee. In the same way, the word some can be used with both countable and uncountable nouns. Some houses are not numbered in my area. It means we do not know how many houses are not numbered. I have some water in my bottle. That means I'm not sure about the quantity of water which I have in my bottle. I hope now you have understood the topic noun. But promise me that you will apply all the rules discussed here while using nouns. In the next video, we will learn about pronouns. So keep watching and keep learning.